Love against all odds. The room was quiet, except for the sound of the ceiling fan creaking above us. It was the 1970s, a time when the Nigerian naira had great value, and a man earning 356 naira a month could afford a decent life. But today, money wasn't just money, it was the wall standing between Emmanuel and the woman he loved. I sat in the corner of Chief Okafor's sitting room, watching the scene unfold. Emmanuel, a young secondary school teacher, stood nervously in front of Chief's massive wooden desk, his hands clenched into fists. Across from him sat Ifeoma, his love, his hope, the woman who had filled his dreams for years. Her face was already streaked with tears. Emmanuel cleared his throat and placed a thick brown envelope on the table. His voice was tight with desperation. "This is 44,000 naira, sir," he said. "It's everything we could save." Chief Okafor didn't even glance at the money. He leaned back in his chair, sighing heavily. "That's not what we agreed on," he said, his voice flat and emotionless. "I told you, Emmanuel. 108,000 naira. That was the deal." Ifeoma sobbed quietly. "Papa, please," she whispered, her hands trembling as she clutched her wrapper. Chief Okafor ignored her. He picked up his glass of palm wine and took a slow sip. I had known Emmanuel since our university days. He was a man of principle, hardworking and kind. He had studied pure and applied mathematics at the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, dreaming of becoming a teacher. And he did. Right after graduation, he got a job at a government secondary school, earning a stable salary. It wasn't much, but it was enough to live a comfortable life. When Ifeoma entered her final year at the university, studying mass communication, her father's choice for her, Emmanuel had decided it was time. He went to Chief Okafor to declare his intentions, fully expecting some resistance. After all, Chief Okafor was a businessman, a man of means who owned a popular radio station. His daughter, he believed, deserved more than a teacher's salary could offer. But no one expected the demand he placed on Emmanuel. 3,000 naira per month for 3 years, that was what Ifeoma would earn once she started working for her father. 108,000 naira in total. And that was what Emmanuel had to bring before he could marry her. It was an impossible task. 3,000 naira was nearly 10 times what Emmanuel earned in a month. Even if he saved every kobo, he would never reach that amount in 5 years. It was a trick, a test designed to make him give up. But Emmanuel didn't give up. For 1 year, Ifeoma worked at her father's radio station, secretly saving her entire salary. She knew her father wouldn't listen to her, but she hoped that if she and Emmanuel raised enough money, he might reconsider. When she had saved 36,000 naira, she gave it to Emmanuel, who added all he had saved, bringing their total to 44,000 naira. It wasn't enough, but it was everything they had. Now, here they were, pleading for love. I had seen many things in my life, but nothing pained me more than watching a man beg to marry the woman he loved. I cleared my throat. "Chief," I said, keeping my voice steady. "This is not right." Chief Okafor turned to me, his expression unreadable. "What is not right, Uche? The boy loves your daughter. She loves him. He may not be rich, but he is a good man. Why are you standing in their way?" He scoffed. "Love doesn't feed a family, Uche. Money doesn't build a marriage either," I countered. The air in the room was thick with tension. Chief Okafor's jaw tightened, but he said nothing. That night, word spread across the village. By morning, the elders had called for a meeting. It was held under the big mango tree in the compound, the same place where important decisions had been made for generations. Chief Okafor sat in the middle, his face tight with frustration. Around him sat his kinsmen, the respected elders of the land. The first to speak was Paul Izenwa, an old man who had seen many seasons. He rested his weight on his walking stick and looked directly at Chief Okafor. "This is not our way," he said, his voice filled with quiet authority. Another elder, Nedi, shook his head. "Since when did we start selling our daughters?" A murmur spread through the gathering. The people were angry. "This boy has done no wrong," another elder added. "He is not lazy, he is not a thief. He is a teacher, molding young minds. And you tell me he is not worthy?" Chief Okafor shifted uncomfortably in his seat. He opened his mouth to speak but was cut off. "You are making a fool of yourself," one of his own brothers said. "Do you not see that?" Silence. A long, heavy silence. Finally, after what felt like hours, Chief Okafor sighed deeply. He rubbed his forehead, his shoulders sagging. "I was only thinking of her future," he muttered. "Her future is with the man she loves," someone replied. And just like that, it was over. That evening, Chief Okafor called Emmanuel and Ifeoma into his sitting room. His voice was lower now, softer. He cleared his throat. "I was wrong," he admitted. "I see that now." He turned to Emmanuel. "I'm sorry, my son. You have my blessing." Ifeoma burst into tears, not of sadness, but of relief. Emmanuel simply stood there, stunned, before nodding, his own eyes wet. A few months later, the whole village gathered for their traditional wedding. It was the biggest celebration in years. Chief Okafor, perhaps to make up for his mistake, spared no expense. Drummers played late into the night, women danced with joy, and the aroma of jollof rice and spicy goat meat filled the air. I watched Emmanuel and Ifeoma, standing side by side, their hands tightly intertwined. They had fought for this moment. And as the night stretched on, I realized something. Love is not about wealth or status. It is about patience, sacrifice, and faith. And when love is real, no obstacle is too great.